refeed. So a refeed day is a tool when it comes to fat loss. So first of all, what is a refeed? So a refeed is a strategically given day where you would have more calories than what you normally have. And in order for these calories to be called an actual refeed, you have to be eating in a caloric deficit for this to be called a refeed. So that means you're eating less than what you're burning in a day. A refeed is strategic, it's planned out, and it serves a purpose in the fat loss journey. And I'm going to tell you when you should be giving yourself a refeed to help out with their fat loss journey. So first we have to understand what happens to the body when we're dieting, and especially for a long period of time. What happens when you're dieting is your metabolism starts to decrease because you're not eating as much food. Because you're not eating as much food, your workouts become less and less efficient. You have less energy. You have less recovery because you're not getting as much food, which is what promotes recovery. So when you're dieting, you don't have as much carbs, you don't have as much fat, you're eating less food, but you're burning more calories than what you're consuming. So that's what it means to be in a caloric deficit. And that is critical for losing weight. So the problem with this is if you diet for a long period of time, the body is going to start breaking down. This is because your body, when you're dieting, you're depriving it of the things it needs to survive. So, you're taking away the carbs or taking away the fat. So, food is fuel for the body, and if you're not giving enough to it, your body's going to start breaking down. You're going to have less efficient workouts. You're going to be a lot more tired. Tasks throughout the day are going to be a lot more difficult for you. You're going to have brain fog. You're not going to function very well. And for females, it depends on, how long you've been dieting for and how hard you've been dieting for. But you can also lose your menstrual cycle. So what a refeed does is it gives you a temporary break from dieting. So when you take a refeed, your body thinks that, oh, we're not dieting anymore. So now let's start working efficiently. They're getting that fix that they needed of carbs and fats. So your body is not resistant anymore. It's going to be it's going to drop body fat a lot easier because it doesn't feel like it's threatened, that it's deprived. So this is kind of like tricking your body to keep burning more calories because, when you give your body that extra calories, even if it's for just a day, it's going to think, okay, like we're fine. We don't need to panic. We don't need to slow our metabolism down because now we're getting the food. So what happens when you give yourself a refeed when you're dieting, when you're in a caloric deficit for quite a bit, what's going to happen is your body's going to start working. It's going to be replenished again. It's going to start, working better. Even though, right after the refeed, you keep dieting as if you were, your body is still going to have that effect of the food for a few days, even a week after you've had the food. So this is really great because after the refeed, you're going to feel a lot more energized. You're going to feel like you've stopped hitting that wall. You're going to get better sleep. You're going to recover better. You're not going to feel like you're dying. So this is really great to implement when you're dieting. Usually it can be anywhere from like a refeed every few days to, once a week or every other week. It ranges, and it's very individualized based on the person dieting. So what I would suggest, if you want to give yourself a refeed, and if you want to do this for yourself and you don't have a coach, make sure you are not just giving yourself a refeed because you're hungry. Yes, hungry is one of the signs that you're dieting, so of course you're going to be hungry, right? But you know, you should be giving it to yourself when you're feeling like you're really dying, you're feeling like you're really exhausted, and you're seeing all these signs, like your workouts are becoming less efficient, your body is just aching all the time, you're not recovering. So listen to your body, give yourself a refeed, added calories, specifically carbs and fats, so that your body can feel replenished again, and then it can, instead of reverting backwards and stalling your fat loss, it can actually play a role in helping your fat loss. It's kind of like a backup thing. Like for example, let's say you're playing a soccer game and you know you fell and you scraped your knee. It's kind of like putting a band-aid on so that you know you can keep playing the game, which is basically like it's a temporary thing, but it's gonna keep you going. So that's kind of how I would, you know, explain a refeed and how it affects your body, and you know when to implement these types of strategies so that you know you can sustain your fat loss for longer. You're not gonna hit a wall. You're not gonna plateau. You're not gonna, you know, revert backwards. So listen to your body. If you need a refeed, give yourself a refeed. It's different from a cheat meal because it's should be strategically planned. You know, a specific amount of calories, a specific amount of fats and carbs added to your diet, which is different from a cheat meal, because a cheat meal is just, you know, go ahead and eat whatever you want, you know, without, you know, considering the calories that you're eating in that meal. So I like, you know, refeeds a lot more. I find my body responds better to refeeds because I'm not over consuming calories. A refeed is just enough for you to not, you know, gain so much, not have so much inflammation. So make sure also when you're giving yourself a refeed, it's not just an excuse to go eat burgers and fries and ice cream and all this, you know, stuff that's gonna upset your stomach. The whole point of a refeed is, you know, not for satiation purposes, but for the long-term effects of, you know, dieting and fat loss. So if you're gonna have a refeed, keep it clean is what I suggest. So, you know, maybe if your body responds well to rice, if your, you know, your digestive system is fine with rice, have some more rice. And then, you know, for fats, have some avocado if you're good with avocado, or you know, maybe drizzle some olive oil on your food, and use up those added calories with stuff that's going to make you feel good, because when you're dieting, your body's also very sensitive, and you can react, and it can be very obvious in the way you look. It can be obvious in the way you feel. So make sure that you're being smart about it, and it's not just an excuse to eat more food or to eat food that's good. And make sure it's not just an excuse to eat food that, you know, you haven't had for a while, or you know, eat burgers and fries and chocolate and candy. Make sure you are doing this for the sole reason of better performance, better fat loss, and a better response in your body. And this is a way to make your fat loss journey a lot more sustainable. Thank you guys for watching my video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below. Tell me if you like refeeds more, if you like cheat meals more, and have a great day.